Good evening, everyone. Sorry. Sit down. I know, right? Yeah, I've done a speech like that. It's not great fun. It's fun for me, but you guys it's really going to suck for. Good. All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming out to our 2016 AGM. Welcome to the obviously to the executive. Dave Allen from Virtutel, Mark Dignam from DC2, Nathan Brookfield from Simtronic, Peter Nikolic, even though he's just retired, he's still turned out to join us. Hi, Pete. Obviously myself, Dave Brown, our current treasurer as well, and Joe Wooler and Shane Shaw. And thanks to our operational staff as well, Joe, Kelly and Will, as always, much appreciated. And welcome our special guest tonight as well, Mark Gregory from RMIT. Welcome to all of you. Thanks for coming and joining us. So first off, for the official business, we need to raise a motion to accept our 2015 AGM minutes. So I'll raise that. Can I get someone to second that? Thanks, Shane. And our 2016 SGM minutes from earlier this year as well. I'll raise a motion to accept that. And again, thanks, Shane. So it's been a busy year. We've had a couple of major retirements, which has been a bit sad on the exec. Mark's decided that life's a little bit busy at the moment, which we can all understand why. And yeah, so Mark was actually one of the founders on the original Waya board. So it's not just 3 years or the last 3 years he's done with us. It's been a lot longer than that. So big thanks, Mark. You've been a good friend and much appreciated everything you've done with us. So, and also Pete, thank you, mate. You put in a big stint, really big stint. I've got a lot of nice things written down here to say about you, but I'm a bit honest, so I'll skip those. You will be missed, mate. 2016 in review. So it's been a huge year. We had a massive name change. So we were the Western Australian Internet Association, and now we are the Internet Association of Australia, which was a massive change. It's been really well received, both nationally and internationally. People seem very happy about it. And it's been quite an exciting year as well. Obviously, we've got a lot more exposure overseas. We've got a nomination for an executive position tonight from Twitter, which is awesome. So our profile is obviously changing. It's a big year. So it's a very successful name change. We have a new website to go with that. Great work from Will. New website looks great. New logo looks excellent. It's a bit early. Come on. And again, when it works, the new member portal is fantastic. Again, thanks, Will. Really awesome. It's not just been new things for us. We've been engaging a lot more with industry regulators, the ACCC, a lot more media broadcasts, and some calls out from ABC Radio, for example, and in particular international outreach to raise our profile, to promote us more, to promote what we do more, and promote the internet in Australia. It's been a huge year for that, and Joe and I have been quite busy and quite active on that front. So it's been very interesting. And on that, we now sponsor PeeringDB. So if obviously peering is a major part of revenue generation for the Internet Association of Australia. And part of how we do that and part of what all our members need and use is PeeringDB. And they went through some really tough times earlier this year with their hosting, which was mostly donated and quite problematic for them. So a lot of big companies chipped in and improved things, and it's made a real difference. So we look forward to some new technologies from them and working closely with them as well over the next couple of years. And obviously New Zealand as well. Last year we built a peering exchange in New Zealand, and this year we've handed it over to them and created an affiliation type arrangement with them where we maintain some seats on their board to help govern them and help assist them and continue growing peering services in our region, which is really important to us. And that's about it. So hope I didn't keep you all for too long. We've got a Treasurer's report. So Dave Brown.
Two laptops. Hi everyone, my name's David Brown. I've only been on the executive for 2 years, but it's been fun and rewarding. Everyone, when they join, gets assigned a code name by Joe. Mine is Dangerous Dave. So this year's been a very big year for us financially. We've got more members, we've got more peers, massive expansion on the East Coast. So the title of my talk today is, how did we spend all of that extra money we earned this year? We're a member-owned cost recovery association, so we're not out to make big profits, and if you've read the financial report, we don't keep a lot of that at the end of the day. So our income, this year it increased by $470,000 per annum, up to a total of roughly $1.6 million. If you look at the actual service revenue, it's roughly $340,000 of service revenue. There's one line item I'd like everyone to take particular note of, and that's VLL sales. That's $469. It turns out that 2 free VLLs per member is exactly the right number of VLLs to offer if you don't want to make any money. In other news, we have a term deposit which has been there for quite some time. It remained untouched this year. It's at $378,000, and it went up roughly $8,000 in interest. Yay, retirement. So moving on to the costs. The backbone of a great organisation is its people. One cost that went up this year was our wages. The Internet Association currently has 3 staff members, 4 if you include Joe's beard. And we've seen an increase of staff hours of our part-time staff, which is Kelly and Will, and Joe Wooler also had a much-deserved pay review as well. So thanks.
It is directly proportional.
Other big costs that we incurred was the equipment maintenance. It's no secret that we use Extreme Networks, and they know how to charge for their support. We're paying for hardware support and, in theory, software support as well. We've all had a few free beers on their quality of their software. That was an increase of roughly $50,000, but we don't pay it every year. It's a charge that comes around once in a while. The low-cost asset write-off. If you run a business, you might have heard that you can buy something up to $20,000 and instantly write it off. The government, in their infinite wisdom, decided to uncap the amount of $20,000 things you could buy. The association has bought $190,000 instant asset write-offs. As you know, with more peers, more optics, more backhaul, we're doing major upgrades in Melbourne. We've bought a chassis-based system there, so there's been a lot of expenditure on equipment to grow the organisation. New Zealand, as Tom mentioned, there's a line item there for the New Zealand loan account. This is the amount of money that we have incurred, costs that we have incurred to start that organisation, and they will pay it back to us as it generates revenue, and that should be very quickly. And that was roughly $112,639. Functions and events, we've seen increased functions and events just because we're now more geographically spread out. Big East Coast events and more Christmas parties, and the cost of that is only going to go up as we have more members. Legal fees, although the executive committee and the staff are wise, we choose to outsource our legal requirements. We've had to do this great thing called data retention, so we engage some legal services for that, as well as some of our larger suppliers don't like our standard terms and agreements, so we are forced to modify them to be to their likings. Marketing expenses, we changed the name of the association. We've also now got cool light pens and stuff like that, so we've spent some money on that. Sponsorships, PeeringDB. It's if you do peer on one of our exchanges and you don't have a peering DB account, I strongly advise you to sign up, even if you only peer in one location. As we saw at Osnog, people are using those statistics to basically measure the international relevance of peering exchanges, so it'd be good to have some accurate information there. The other things that have changed, at the end of the financial year in 2015, we had roughly $70,000 of outstanding collections from our members. At the end of 2016, that doubled to 140,000. So there's quite a few members out there that are taking advantage of the association, and for that reason we've this year implemented the services of a debt collection agency so that we get our money faster, and we'll probably be more forthcoming with disconnection notices because we've been pretty lenient in the past. And that's about it.
Peering update from Joe.
Should have gone first. It's not going to be as funny. No pressure. All right. How's everyone doing? This is just a brief update of the services we offer. They haven't really changed from last year, as you can see from the list there. Axon is probably the new addition to that. We partner with them to offer services over their fabric and vice versa. The pop sites, we haven't really grown that much. I think we've added one site over the last year, 2 sites over the last year. No? Don't know? All right. I mean, our focus has really been on upgrading the hardware, driving peers, increasing peers, specifically in Sydney. It's been a massive growth area there. Auckland has pretty much taken off its own thing now. We will be managing it for them, hopefully indefinitely. We're in 3 sites there now. We were in 2, I think, when we started it. So here's an update on our membership. We have grown from last year. I forgot to put the last year's stats in that. I think we were 180 corporates last year. Yeah, so we're up to 239 now, which will reflect in our total peers in particular states, which I'll get to. Here's the traffic growth from compared to this time last year at the AGM. As you can see, Sydney has grown quite a fair bit. Sorry? You can see it there, can't you? Throughput, peak throughput. Yeah, it's the right one. So yeah, you can see a particular growth with Wakes and VicIX. Those 2 are predominantly due to us introducing content such as Facebook and Netflix onto the fabric locally. These are the prefixes on the fabrics. As you can see, again, quite a bit of growth, particularly in WA and Vic again. South Australia is quite big for some reason, but that's probably due to our Vocus, no doubt, gobbling up lots of networks and advertising them to Adelaide on sakes, sorry. Here's the growth of peers. Sydney, again, as you can see, biggest growth. That's huge, 184 peers as of today. Perth Wakes hasn't grown as much as I thought, and that's due to a lot of consolidation. We've had a few networks consolidate here, and Perth seems to be the network they like to consolidate first, so we've lost a couple, unfortunately. But overall, growth, peers, memberships, and peering ports are up, which is fantastic. And here's the growth. Again, that big jump there is due to content that we've worked with the likes of Facebook and Netflix to chuck on our fabrics and bring that content as close as possible. Auckland's in there too, which is a bit cheaty. But we look after it, so it counts.
What about the ACT graph?
No, that's like not a lot there. No, ACT does very little, given that it's only got 10 peers. But it's still relevant. People still exchange some traffic, and they're still using it. And for the record, ACT and SAKES are free for members, as they don't incur any operational expense, or they do, but very minimal. We don't pay colo or anything over there, so yeah, that's it. Done. Easy.
Good. Thanks, mate. Other business? Any executive members got anything else they want to add to the meeting? No? Excellent. Or anybody else? I had Q&A in here somewhere. Guys, come on, what are you doing? Nomination statements. So at this point in time, I want to invite anybody that's nominated for an executive position to, if they want to, come up and read their nomination statement. If they don't want to, I'm happy to read it for them. So I'll just probably start with the professionals if we'd like. Adam Gibson.
We've been working with Tom all down this computer. I think we're getting there. Yeah, we managed to insert images today on PowerPoint, so we're getting there with Office. So yeah, Adam Gibson's my name. I've been working as a professional with IX for the last 2 or 3 years. I'm based in Brisbane and I do the remote hands for IAA. So what that entails is 24/7 support on the hardware, the infrastructure, anything that's related to any of the data centers, the cross connects, everything like that. I do it for a whole bunch of other guys over there that need support, whether it be clients that want to get on the IA infrastructure, need support rolling cables or ensuring that they're getting lights, all those kinds of things. So I'm there supporting them everywhere I can. I thought that being a part of the, I guess, behind the scenes, I'd really want to get out there and really promote the rest of what I can do for the community, especially being a part of it and knowing what it takes to be a member from seeing all their works with these guys. I thought, put my hand up and see what I can do, and hopefully I get elected. Being my 10th year in data centers, I sort of have an understanding of what it takes to build something from the ground up. Joe's done a fantastic job coming in and doing. I went to QV1 today and seeing the work he's done to make that a decent, place for connections and things like that. He's done a fantastic job there. So yes, I'll both support and contribute to the IA team to ensure the duties are completed for the better of IA. That's me. Thank you.
Next up, Brad. Excellent.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Brad Pesker. I'm a familiar face to a few people here, possibly not to the folks at home. I don't know my Joe code name either. I'm not sure I want to. Yeah, exactly. I've been involved with IIA when it was previously WAIA. I was on the committee from 2010 to about 2012 when I left for personal reasons. Life got busy and I had to give a few things up, which was quite unfortunate. I've been a member of IIA for many years. I love the organisation. I love what it does for the industry as a whole. I like to think I bring a bit of a different perspective to the association. I don't come from the ISP space. My background's in enterprise networking. For the last 8 and a bit years, I've worked for a large oil and gas company based here in WA and internationally. We do a lot of remote operations. We're increasing our internet footprint. We're doing a lot more in the enterprise focus space, and I like to think I can bring that to bear at IIA for the benefit of all enterprises and try and encourage enterprise adoption of the fabric and the services that the association offers. I'm a technology enthusiast. I'm involved with another non-profit association called WACAN, who's also a IIA affiliate member. We operate a wireless network around the Perth metropolitan area, a little bit further if we can get it there. Consistent challenge for us at the moment, but we're making slow progress. And I firmly believe that the IIA operates or is in a unique place in the Australian industry. The industry sort of lacks a cohesive voice, certainly one that has been around as long as IIA. I believe the IIA has a greater potential there for both consumer advocacy and industry advocacy as a whole. As we see the NBN sort of become a little bit of a political hot potato, I think the IIA can bring some weight to bear there and represent the views of the industry and consumers better as a whole. So look, I look forward to your vote. Thanks very much, and thank you to my fellow nominees as well.
Thanks, Brad. David Spruce.
Oh, okay. How you going? Let's see. What did I actually write again? So I'm probably not a very familiar face to a lot of people. I'm very new in the space. I come from the managed service provider area, not really the carrier or ISP. I did come from Amcom back in the day, but it was more on the service desk. So I'm more working in the engineering space for managed service providers in the SMB market. Doing server builds, basic networking. We call it MPLS, but really we're just using you guys to deliver all that for us. But what I've found is, as an IT professional, the last few years I've grown a lot, going from the service space to engineering systems and delivering networks to customers, and I found a massive passion in networking, and that kind of drew me to really be a kind of fanboy for WAIA and IAA as it's known now. So I've been doing a lot of work in that space. I've helped found WACAN along with Brad, who's just up here. I've been involved with RFLAN as well, a LAN gaming association here in Perth, and I've done a lot of work with them, but I've moved on from those on the kind of management level now, and I still spectate, but I'm looking for the next big thing. And I think IAA is a great step for me. I don't think I'm probably the most qualified person out of all the nominees that we have tonight for the professional memberships, but I definitely am very keen to give it my all and put whatever I can into it, and just see what I can learn from it. I always love the opportunity to learn more, and I don't know a better opportunity to do that than being on the board of IAA. So I look forward to your vote, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to stand up here next year and say something as well.
Thanks, David. And this last one, Joe Wooler. It's the beard. As we usually call him, Oi.
Look, you've probably already voted by now anyway, so if you haven't, vote one, Joe Wooler.
Thanks, Joe. We also have some corporate membership voting to do as well. So a few of us are up for election this year. First off, David Brown. I want to let him go last.
Hey guys, me again. Yeah, I'm the current treasurer. My involvement with what was WAIA and now IX Australia was I am the remote hands of New South Wales IX. So there's a good chance I plugged in almost all of the peers in Sydney. And that led to a professional membership and then a 2-year term on the Internet Association of Australia, and then now the treasurer. So it's been a rewarding experience, and I hope to stay on. But if not, I'm sure it's in great hands, and yeah, if you want to vote for me, that'd be great. But otherwise, it's going to march on under the executive committee anyway. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave. I'm up, so most of you guys know me. Thanks. If I'm re-elected, I'm going to do more of the same of what we've done. It's been a very successful year, so why would I want to change anything? I just want more time to get more done. So that's me. Thank you. And Paul Arch is back. Coming again. No, I'm not going yet.
I'm Paul. Some of you may remember me. I was a serving executive member probably a couple of years ago now. At the time I was treasurer. I've got a background in startup companies, so back in the day, WAIA was a very important component to our business, getting off the ground, support from likes of Joe, which I'm sure you've all experienced. So my directive obviously is I want to get back involved on the executive. I bring hopefully a sort of level opinion in terms of from a business sense and from a technical standpoint as well. So that's pretty much all I've got to say. Thanks.
Thanks, Paul. And Chris Markovic.
I'm Chris. A lot of you guys know me as well. I was previously on the executive of WAIA for about 4 years, up until about 2012. And similar to Brad, life and children sort of got in the way and took a bit of a resignation on that basis. I'm a technical director of a managed services IT company. I'm also a director of a carrier, and I'm a director of a software development firm. Really enjoyed my time with WAIA. I feel that I could provide some value and some guidance in certain areas where my skills sort of have relevance. Obviously, it's going to be a tough call with Twitter following me. That's always going to be an interesting one, but I certainly hope that I get the opportunity to come back on board. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Chris. Unfortunately, Tim's at a bit of a disadvantage because I'm doing his presentation for him because he's not here. Sorry, Tim. Don't hold this against me, mate. So Tim Hoffman's, he's been at Twitter for a while now, and he leads their global network team. In his words, I spent the last decade running telco networks in New Zealand before moving to San Francisco, where I've spent the last 2.5 years working in content networking. Over this time, I've had large involvement in Australian telecommunications and believe that IX Australia is essential to the success of the Australian and New Zealand internet. I believe that my knowledge of the needs of both local and international networks could make a meaningful contribution to the organisation and would be honoured to have your support to do so. While distance can be a challenge, if elected, I will commit to attending the AGM each year in person. So thanks, Tim. Appreciate that, and thanks for nominating. And that's it. Next, Q&A. If anybody's got any questions about the meeting, the content itself, or any questions for any of the nominees, feel free to raise your hand. I think, yeah. Do you want to come up here, use the microphone? All right, no worries. Sorry, we'll just grab your mic.
I can speak really loud.
Perfect.
So, as a new member, I've only signed up 3 days ago. I'm just interested how the executive voting takes place, because I've got a slip for professional.
Yep.
Do only executive members get to vote for the executive seats? Or?
Yes, that's correct. So corporate members, one corporate vote per corporate membership. So a corporate company that has 3 attendees can't vote 3 times. And a professional member can only vote in the professional class. No worries. Anybody else? Onwards to the fun bit. Voting, and we'll get some more drinks. Excellent. Thanks, Mark. I'd like to invite our returning officer. No? Both of us? Excellent. To come and announce the vote. So, David and Nathan.
Okay. Well, for the professional membership, we have Brad and Joe. Congratulations.
And for the corporates, we have Tim Hoffman representing Twitter, Tom Berryman representing Connectivity IT, and I just forgot the third one because I should have thought I had it in the back of my head. Hold on, let me get my phone.
Paul. It's Paul. Paul from DC West.
Yeah, Paul Arch from DC West.
Yeah.
And thank you very much to Kelly for helping us count the votes. And Will.
And Will, yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming out. We'll call the meeting to a close now if there's no further business. And have we got more drinks coming? Oh, fantastic. Stick around, say good day to the new executive, and we'll see you again in a year or sooner.